Good morning. I, Rabbi Tamerhoulet, Vice Chair, call the Residential and Manufacturer Structural Board meeting July 12, 2023, to order at 9:35. Lethin, please call the roll, please.
I'm sorry, are the Zoom members getting a double audio?
No.
No.
Nope.
Good. All right, I
No.
will proceed with the roll. Thank you. Robbie Tamerhoulet, Vice Chair.
Yes.
Present in person, Gordon Anslow.
Here.
James Austin. Is excused. Forrest Barnes is excused. John Chmelir.
Here.
Rich Fry is excused. Emily Kemper.
Here.
Douglas Lethin.
Here.
Rich Tovar.
Here.
And Matt Lutter.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Member, do you have any changes to the agenda or to the order of business? I, Vice Tamerhoulet, rule the agenda and the order of business approved. Members, do you have any changes to the draft meeting minute of March 8th, 2023 meetings? I, Vice Chair Tamerhoulet, rules the draft minutes of March 8th, 2023 final. The next date of the board meeting is October 4th, 2023. Mr. Pike, could you walk us through the process for the board?
Yes, Ian Peg, analyst with the division. If the board is going to vote for a chair today, they would be putting out an open nomination, verifying if that person is going to accept the position, and then have a discussion and take a vote on it. But I'm unsure if the board is planning on doing this today.
Rich Tovar through the chair. Could we table this discussion for next time?
Ian Peg, analyst with the division, you certainly can.
I believe we have new members coming on board. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Members, do you want to table this item to the next meeting?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Same thing. We do the same thing for a vice chair.
Together. It looked like they were lumped together.
Okay. Here we go to item. How about the next item G? We just table it for the next meeting.
Ask if they want to do that or have Ian introduce. It's just a little bit different.
Go ahead, Ian, go ahead.
Sure. Ian Peg, analyst with the division. Similar to the last one, this is a Another voting opportunity, this time for the open nominations for the C membership. Again, you don't have to do it this time, and you can certainly table it for next time. Thank you.
Members, what is your, any discussion in these items? Or do
I
we have-
agree, table.
Or do we have any nomination?
I'm fine with tabling.
This is Gordon. I would say unless we have like some qualified people that are stepping up, I would table it until such time as we do.
Through the chair, I would just say that it would be helpful if most of us were here, but it seems like we have some folks who aren't here today, so.
Do we have any public comment today? Item H.
You just asked me.
Do we have any public comment today?
Perfect. Thank you, Vice Chair. Ian Paik, Analyst with the Division. We did not receive any requests to provide general public comment to the board. However, I would like to take a moment to see if there's anyone in the room or on the line that would like to provide general public comment to the board. Seeing none, that concludes general public comment. Thank you.
Next item is 20 for Rocco, Structural Program Policy and Technical.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Tony Rocco, the division. Just here with a quick program update for the board. So first, our team has been working through finalizing the ORSC publishing process. As you may have noticed, the public hearing is upcoming on the 18th of this month. And we're also continuing to work with ICC on the printing of that code. In addition to the publishing process, our team is actively developing code update training information and presentations. And Francisco and Laura from our team have been doing a great job at coordinating the training presentation, formatting, and material. And then finally, mark it on your calendars. Next meeting, we anticipate having a legislative update for the board. And that meeting is currently scheduled for October. So brief update for the board, and with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Next, we have Kelly Thomas give us the update energy program update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm Kelly Thomas, Energy Policy and Analyst for the division. Just give you a couple quick updates. One relative to the modeling and progress toward the executive orders. In addition to our internal modeling, you may know that we hired University of Oregon to conduct modeling as well. Our final meeting with them is this Friday, with the report expected in a couple weeks in August. Draft indicates that we're going to meet the Executive Order 1720, which is relative to 2017 CERH program. That automatically puts us on track to meet the Executive Order 2004 by 2029. With that, we've also got, with the new code coming, we've got a couple technical bulletins to update. You guys, we changed the ducts inside. That was a big one that really helped out a lot with the modeling. So we've got that technical bulletin to update. We're going to issue a new one for air sealing and a couple others that might be necessary to help everybody out. Another piece of good news is that the Energy Star rebates that we talked about, as you may know, may or may not know, Oregon, Washington has their own version of Energy Star, and we are looking at possibly having an extension. The new version and requirements for that 2,500 was going to be effective January 1st this upcoming year. It looks like we're going to get an extension to the following year, January 1st, 2025. The EPA is just awaiting guidance from the IRS on the applicability of the state versions. Similarly, the ZRH program meeting those requirements, and the $5,000 rebate should also get extended, but that's a little less clear on their website right now. It would make sense that they would go together. And then finally, relative to the home size request and possibly having home size as a consideration in the code, really it would be for the 2026 code. We received a database of over 1 million properties, and my colleague Mark Heiser and I analyzed those, whittled them down to what was applicable to the ORSC, and we did a look at the homes after 2015 and 2005 to have a different view, and both of those views came out about the same. We got it down to about 100,000 homes, so we got a really robust database of those homes, and would be ready with some draft results if let's say we wanted to look at it for the REACH code. So we'd be ready for you. So that's it. Any questions? Thank you.
So, have no communication, no appeal, no unfinished business. We go straight to the new business. Mr. Pike?
Thank you, Vice Chair Ian Paik, Analyst with the Division. The Electrical and Elevator Board requests the Board review and approve the low-rise residential electrical provisions of the 2023 OESC and recommend the Administrator proceed with rulemaking. At its March 23, 2023 meeting, the E&E Board approved the proposed 2023 OESC, which includes low-rise residential electrical provisions, and forwarded the proposed code provisions to the Administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption. Your agenda packet includes a document that summarizes the proposed electrical code provisions that were approved by the E&E Board pertaining to low-rise residential electrical. The Division's Electrical Chief Brian Krise is available for technical questions. This agenda item will require a motion, examples of which are also included in your agenda packet. Thank you.
Member, do you have any comment or question for the Chief? Go ahead, Will.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Brian Krise, Electrical Program Chief for the state of Oregon. Just here to do a quick introduction of myself. I'm the new Electrical Chief for the state. Just want to say hi. My contact information, I can pass that out if need be. But you know where to contact me at. So, just a quick update. We ran through a number of specialty code amendments. You can see that the full electrical committee went through about 21 pages worth of amendments. We've included about 8 pages for you out of the low-rise residential or residential code. Out of abundance of caution, we probably included more in there than what was necessary, but just want to make sure that if any amendments or OASC amendments were concerning residential that we had them there for your perusal as well. So, with that, some of the big amendments that were in the new code cycle was talking about 110.26 working clearances, requiring the working clearance of the working clearance area in front of equipment to be flat and level as possible. There's been a number of GFCI requirements or modifications to the GFCI requirements. In the code, there's a new requirement for a 10 amp circuit, which due to the efficiency of LED lights has made that possible, so we can go to a lower amperage branch circuit just for LED lights. That's something that could certainly help out the residential group. The requirements for island and countertop circuits receptacles have changed. So you'll notice that there's definitely a change there that you want to take a look at if you're designing or building to island or countertop circuits. And that's a rundown of some of the major amendments. Any questions for me?
Any question for Chief?
Don't hear you.
Thank you. Any discussion for the members? Okay, we need a motion for this item.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Chair, Ian Paik, Annals with the Division. You should use the language in your agenda packet those are just some examples of possible motion language.
We have three options here.
I can do it.
Okay.
Motion to approve the electrical and elevator board's recommendation to adopt the proposed low-rise residential electrical provisions and forward to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption, with the finding that the added cost, if any, is necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or the public or necessary to conserve scarce resources.
This is Matt. I second that motion.
Any further discussion? Try to call.
Gordon Anslow.
I'm good. Vote in favor.
John Chmelir.
Approved.
Emily Kemper.
Approved.
Doug Lethin.
Approved.
Rich Tovar.
Approved.
Matthew Lutter.
Approved.
Vice Chair Robbie Tamerhoulet.
Approved.
Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
For the next item. Go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Ian Paik, Annals of the Division. The State Plumbing Board requests the Board review and approve the low-rise residential plumbing provisions of the 2023 OPSC and recommend the Administrator proceed with rulemaking. At its April 20th, 2023 meeting, the State Plumbing Board approved the proposed 2023 OPSC, which includes low-rise residential plumbing provisions, and forwarded the proposed code provisions to the Administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption. Your agenda packet includes a document that summarizes the proposed plumbing code provisions that were approved by the State Plumbing Board pertaining to low-rise residential plumbing. The Division's Plumbing Chief, Andy Skinner, is available for technical questions. This agenda item will also require a motion, examples of which are in your agenda packet. Thank you.
Mr. Skinner, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. My name's Andy Skinner. I'm the Plumbing Program Chief for the Building Codes Division. If you have any questions, technical questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Just kind of give you a brief overview of this code adoption cycle. It was kind of a soft lift is what we're calling it. We actually adopted the current 2021 UPC as the base model code for the 2023 OPSC moving forward, with some amendments out of the 2024 UPC. So again, it was kind of a soft lift, not a lot of substantive changes there, but if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Question to the chief. We need a motion for this item.
I can do it. Motion to approve the State Plumbing Board's recommendation to adopt the proposed low-rise residential plumbing provisions and forward to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption, with the finding that the added cost, if any, is necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or the public or necessary to conserve scarce resources.
This is Matt. I'll second Emily's motion.
Any further discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Gordon Anslow,
I approve.
John Chmelir,
Approved.
Emily Kemper,
Approved.
Doug Lethin,
Approve.
Rich Tovar,
Approve.
Matt Lutter,
I approve.
and Vice Chair Robbie Tamerhoulet.
Approved.
Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Let's go to the next item.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Ian Paik, Analyst with the Division. The Division requests that the Board review and approve the Division's proposed recommendation to retain Section R506.2.3 of the 2021 ORSC in the adoption of the 2023 ORSC. In the 2021 IRC, a significant change was made regarding the vapor retarder required by Section R506.2.3 for concrete slab-on grade construction. This change was included in the adoption process for the 2023 ORSC and recommended for adoption. However, during promulgation of the 2024 IRC, that change was rescinded and the language was reversed back to the 2018 IRC language due to a lack of scientific and technical substantiation as well as the cost increase associated with it. The Division proposes to align with the 2024 IRC on this requirement, which would retain Section R506.2.3 of the 2021 ORSC within the 2023 ORSC. Structural Program Chief Tony Rocco is available for technical assistance. This agenda item will also require a motion, examples of which are in your agenda packet. Thank you.
Do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Again, Tony Rocco with the division. So this one really, Ian summarized it quite well from the memo. Just a quick, simple reverse back to actually current code. So what we currently enforce today, we would maintain instead of jumping forward and grabbing that 21 iteration language. And this is something where we benefit by being just slightly behind the model promulgation process. This occurs from time to time where they undo something that they changed in the next iteration at the national model level. So this obviously carried a significant fiscal that's in the documents provided to you in your packet. And this is just a great opportunity for us to maintain current code and also align with now the next iteration of the International Residential Code. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
John Chmelir through the chair. My comment is that while I get the first cost savings, that 6 mil vapor is pretty thin, and when the concrete guys walk around on it and step on the rebar and press that down on it, you wind up with all kinds of holes in it, and it's pretty worthless. Even 10 mil is too thin, and last job I did, we put in 15 mil, because when you wind up having to remove the vinyl because you're getting bubbles from the vapor coming through, you wind up with a second cost that far exceeds the tiny amount that we included in here. I'll vote for it because it's a minimum, but that's just a comment.
John, Doug here. On a project years ago, we had an architect recommend a layer of sand. Have you ever seen that effect to prevent any puncturing of the plastic vapor?
Yeah, it does. But then when they walk around on the sand and turn it up with their feet, then you wind up with thicker and thinner parts of the concrete, and that promulgates cracking.
Okay.
So, I mean, most concrete guys don't want to put sand down on top of the vapor barrier for that reason, and because it really makes it difficult to work. And, you know, for the added cost of the thicker vapor barrier, plus paying attention to all the penetrations for plumbing and electrical and stuff like that, really makes it worthwhile to use a better vapor barrier. But like I said, since this is a minimum, I have no objection. I just making the comment.
Well taken.
Any further discussion?
I just have a quick, through the chair, I just have a quick clarification question for Tony. So it's a little confusing, but just to be clear, we want to align with, on this element, we want to align with the 2024 IRC, which actually reverts back to a language from the 2018 IRC for our 2023 ORSC.
Through the chair, yes, Ms. Kemper, that's correct. Absolutely correct. So basically what we'd be doing is just retaining what's currently applied today, enforced today in the code. So if we turn to our 50623 today, that exact language would be maintained, carried forward into the 23 iteration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, we need a motion for this item.
I'll make a motion. I'd like to move to approve the division's recommendation to retain our 50623 of current code for the upcoming 2023 ORSC and forward to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption, with the finding that the added cost, if any, is necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or the public, or necessary to conserve scarce resources.
I second.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gordon Anslow,
Approve.
John Chmelir,
Approve.
Emily Kemper,
Approve.
Doug Lethin,
Approve.
Rich Tovar,
Approve.
Matt Lutter,
I approve.
and Vice Chair Robbie Tamerhoulet. Vice Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
And let's go to the next item.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Ian Paik, Analyst with the Division. The Division requests that the Board review and approve the Division's proposed amendments to the prescriptive basic wind speeds of the upcoming 2023 ORSC. ASCE 716 provides design wind speed maps for the U.S. that serve as the basis for the design wind speeds provided in Table R301.21 of the 2023 ORSC. To date, Oregon has historically retained existing design wind speeds for the identified special regions from prior code iterations without conducting an independent examination and analysis of the latest available regional climatic data for each region. At the request of the division, in 2022 and 2023, CPP wind engineering consultants collected and analyzed meteorological data for the identified special wind regions throughout Oregon and provided recommendations for updating the associated design wind speeds based on statistical analysis methodology used and referenced by ASCE 716. These recommendations from both CPP Project 17587 final report and CPP Project 16166 final report are captured in the associated table and figure in the attached proposed amendments to the 2023 ORSC. These reports and recommendations are also being presented to ASC 7 Wind Committee members and are expected to be incorporated into the ASCE 728 and directly referenced by the 2030 IBC. Structural Program Chief Tony Rocco is available for technical assistance. This agenda item will require a motion, examples of which are also included in your agenda packet. Thank you.
Tony, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Again, for the record, Tony Rocco with the division. So this is just a great update for all of Oregon. We have a detailed wind study that Ian covered there in the memo. And the result is accurate, predictable, and consistent basic wind speeds, where we currently have very conservative speeds historically that have just been retained from prior iterations due to lack of scientific and technical data for those areas. So this is going to be something where, again, Oregon's going to be the leader in the forefront regarding these special wind regions and having an actual wind speed there. The other thing is that you notice it's generally a reduction in basic wind speeds, and in many areas of the state, coastal areas, for example, some areas in Central Oregon, this is going to have some type of cost benefit, cost savings for folks, where seismic is not controlling the design. So again, this is just a great amendment. I'm really glad that we're able to provide this and propose it to you all. And just as a heads up, we're also proposing it to the Building Code Structures Board on August 2nd to again maintain alignment between the ORSC and the OSSC for those basic wind speed values. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions as always. Thank you.
Do you have any question for Tony, the Chief?
To the chair, this is Gordon. I just want to chime in and say that I'm glad to see that like a higher level of technical study has been applied to this with the, I think, desirable effect of, in some cases, reducing the wind speeds. It's probably a small thing, and in some cases, maybe seismic will still trump it, but you know, I think it's important whenever we can to try and do things to make it a little bit less expensive to build housing, which we all know is something that we're meant to be doing at the rate of, what, $36,000 a year. So any little thing that helps that is good. And I like in this case that the decision is based on real science and not just, you know, a broad brush thing about, well, let's just reduce everything to make stuff cheaper. I think we can, in this case, we can maintain technical necessity to make sure that buildings can hold up to whatever winds they're going to be likely subject to, but maybe also save a few bucks, which all works in favor of our intended goal to make stuff more affordable. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I think these changes and to the wind speed will reduce the cost of building on the coastal area. I had the opportunity to help some people in the Pacific City, and using this speed with, in addition with the exposure, they have to go to some steel framing to make the the structure work. And I think by reducing it, I think it's reasonable, and it's very important to reduce the cost. Any further discussion? Okay, we need a motion for this item.
I'll make the motion. This is Matt. I move to approve the division's recommended code amendments for the upcoming 2023 ORSC and forward to the administrator for rulemaking and subsequent adoption with the finding that the added cost, if any, is necessary to the health and safety of the occupants or the public or necessary to conserve scarce resources.
I second.
Any further discussion? Roll call for vote, please.
Gordon Anslow,
I approve.
John Chmelir,
Approve.
Emily Kemper,
Approve.
Doug Lethin,
Approve.
Rich Tovar,
Approve.
Matt Lutter,
I approve.
Vice Chair Robbie Tamerhoulet.
Approved.
Vice Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Do you, members, do you have any announcement? No. Okay, that's, is there any further business? There being no further business, July 12th, 2023 Residential and Manufactured Structure Board is adjourned at 10:11. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.